I play the clip, you respond, and we keep it moving. So that's a key. Keep it moving, baby. All right, so let me flip over here. Here's the first one.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Okay, now my guess is there's no way you're going to be able to know a clip from IUIC Mobile. So here they are in Alabama. And you guys were asking me actually about this earlier. And so I want to play this one again. Are you guys ready? Lewis, I need you to make sure you look at the screen for this one. Otherwise, you guys won't get it.
All right.
Okay. Anthony, are you looking at the screen?
I am.
Okay. So here we go. We'll play a replay.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 7. So if thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies.
So Israelites going to be saved and the enemies got to be destroyed, just like the Egyptians were destroyed. They weren't saved. Shalom. Shalom. Also, the water IUIC Mobile, rapid fire. What are we really being saved from?
Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So I think Anthony's eyes might be a little too weak, like Moses at the end of his life. So he may not have seen it. Lewis, did you see it?
Yes, and before I saw it, I actually knew that's where it was heading from what they were saying.
Really?
Yes.
So what'd you see?
I saw an object descend from the heavens and hover above the two gentlemen on the screen.
Did you see what he saw?
No, I can't see that.
Okay,
far.
so the reason why, so we went to Lux Coffee Shop earlier, so I still got my Lux, my iced Americano. Did you guys finish yours?
Yes,
Mine's
sir.
gone.
Okay, so here's my, there it is. And while we were waiting on our order, we started talking a little bit about Hebrew Israelite eschatology.
Oh, okay.
Specifically related to One West. So if you could bring up your phone, I'm going to pause it on there, Anthony, and you'll be able to see it.
Okay.
So right after the, so if you notice, I have the clip repeat. So look what's descending and spinning, and this is their graphic. And see, notice on the screen what it says. Can you read what that says, Lewis?
No.
So you know what this reminds me of?
Well, hold on. No, we still haven't said what it is exactly. What is it exactly that we're?
It's a flying saucer.
It's a chariot.
Oh, okay. It's a chariot.
It's a
Sorry.
chariot. It's
Correction, chariot.
It's a chariot.
So,
but go ahead.
Here's what.
Oh.
Here's what this reminds me of.
Happen. Yeah.
It reminds me of Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Years ago, I used to like watching Louis Farrakhan, not because I thought anything he said was even close to true, but because I found him entertaining. One of the things he said was that there's this mothership that follows him.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, it follows me everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that when you look at Ezekiel 1, which is the description of the throne chariot, right? And it describes the wheels. And it mentions these eyes all around it. He says that's eyeballs looking out the windows of the flying saucer.
Yes.
Right? So if you can imagine the flying saucer, it has windows all the way around. And so all these eyeballs looking around, that's what Ezekiel is describing.
Yes.
So for those that don't know, there was a bit of a background disaster that Vocab is currently tending to.
So I would have to ask if these eyeballs
some lemonade, but go ahead.
are anything like the eyeballs from the folk in Dune that glow. Because if you can see somebody's eyeballs from that distance, there's something special about those eyeballs.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, Vocab's back.
Yes. So here's what's interesting, though. It says on the screen there, what are we being saved from?
Independence Day? I mean, I don't know.
Well, actually, GMS says movies like Independence Day
We're inspired by the truth.
are designed to get people to be ready to try to fight God's army when it returns in the chariots.
Okay, say that again.
It's like a Stargate twist.
Movies like Independence Day are designed by the elite to try to get people to be inspired or revved up to fight against the chariots of God when they return.
So it is knowledge from the wicked
Yes.
to equip the wicked to fight
Yes.
against God's people. Or
Well,
God's army.
God's army. Yes.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So that's a common.
But this is from their perspective. The bad guys are giving out this information.
Yeah, they actually say the Most High is working on the left-hand side.
Oh wow.
That's a common phrase.
The duchy on the left-hand side.
Yeah, they'll say that the Most High is working on the left-hand side in relationship to stuff like that. So even that's part of. So like us doing this wicked podcast, in which we scoff, this is how they would view it, is part of the Most High's plan because it's raising awareness about the truth. And so Israelites watch this and then they learn the truth. But the fascinating thing is, IUIC in the beginning of every video puts a thing on there that says, we are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other camp, And yet, not just the UFOs, but I want you to listen to the audio in a second here. Karen says, am I the only one who can't see Lewis? So Lewis
is best. She's moving around and hitting my camera.
It's because she's,
hey, yo, Adrian.
She's trying to drink the lemonade that fell.
Hey, yo, Adrian.
So we're going to watch this one more time, and I want you to notice the imagery that is kind of, I feel like it could be described as violent.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 7. So if thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous.
Is she okay over there?
And destruction of the enemy.
So Israelites gonna be saved, and the enemies got to be destroyed, just like the Egyptians were destroyed. They weren't saved. Shalom.
Lewis, you see what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So this is not, they have no connection with violence, and yet
they weren't saved. Shalom.
So wait, can I ask now? Is this like a prop that's literally coming down, or is it like a graphic that they're putting in their video?
Oh yeah. And so it's not a prop. There's no alien on, there's no chariot on screen that someone's lowering down from fishing wire. This is actually a graphic that they're putting in post-production.
Okay.
And so, but if you notice, so the clip here saying the wicked nations are going to get destroyed, just like the Egyptians. So, that's why they bring down the chariot, because they believe that the chariot, which is, what people think is a UFO, it's driven by black angels who are going to rain destruction upon Babylon, which is really the United States, while the 200 million missiles come and destroy America at the same time. So it's God's wrath via intercontinental ballistic missiles, and that's why sometimes I joke, instead of IUIC, I call them IUICBM. Right
now, when people say UFO, we got to understand it's unidentified flying object. So are they calling it? Should they be calling it an IFO?
Yes, they believe that they're actually IFOs because they're the chariots.
They're identified
in Ezekiel. Yeah, okay. And so this is not random. The reason why I'm playing this is not just to say this is weird or bizarre. It's not random. Right when they speak of their deliverance, they show an image of a flying saucer because that's God's instrument and part of their deliverance to save them. It's very physical. Literally, alien spaceships driven by black angels sent by Yahushua are going to destroy America. And that's what they're saying, how they're going to be saved.
So have you ever read Eric von Daniken's Chariots of the Gods?
No, but I have that, I think, digitally, because I got into that for a while when I was looking at the UFO stuff. And he gets really deep into that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like the ancient astronaut stuff. So
yeah, but way back when, it was just a paperback book.
Oh yeah. So my introduction was back in the days when I was first hearing of Christ and coming to salvation and coming to faith. Somebody told me to get a Bible, and they were going to show me all this stuff. But one of the things they told me is that the Bible is ancient man's attempt to explain their experience of aliens, interstellar travelers.
Right.
And it comes out the way that it does. I mean, it's just their way of trying to explain what was otherwise just ancient aliens. And so one example of von Daniken's teaching was that the statement in Genesis 1:26, let us make man. See, that's these astronauts that are talking there. So you can see how this fits the thesis, right? They're planting life here, if you will. But that's what this reminds me of. So the whole idea of flying saucers and
that's not unique to this group.
What's the conception of God on this? if these are God's warriors or whatever, is God viewed along the same lines? Is he that kind of a being?
They seem to think that God, like when we understand like God the Father, for some reason, hold on guys, I hear people saying that my audio is cutting in and out.
Well, that's...
Let me try to see what I can do about that. Hold on just a second.
Whenever I talk to Vocab, I'm always hoping his audio will cut out.
What about now? Let me try to...
I hear you good.
Let me try to... Here. I'm trying a few things. I'm messing around.
That's louder.
It got a little bit louder.
Okay. What about now? Do you think it's okay?
It sounds good from here.
Audience, let me know, because a shout out to Israelite Only Camp Killer IOCK. Shout out to Doki Doki Book Club for gifting the channel memberships as well. Shout out to Alejandro, who's a faithful Patreon member. Shout out to Hazelman7 and everyone else who was on the live chat today. Jay Wills, Rick, Soldier of God, Christian JMJ, Prime Minister, Sanchez. How y'all doing? Good to see y'all around the world in 80 days and all of y'all. But these guys seem to have God the Father embodied.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I've heard them say he's a black man. Yeah, so I don't know, but it's not very clear.
But that's more like NOI stuff than.
Yeah, but their theology proper. So we'll talk about when we talk about the doctrine of God. It's not exactly clear, Anthony, because they do not really spend much time on it. Guys, keep me abreast of the sound. I'm going to keep on playing it, but I want to play this one more time because I just want you to understand. If you do watch this stuff and you don't notice, think about this. This means someone in this cultic organization, when they did this short, because this is a short from IUIC Mobile there in Alabama, they took the time to put a graphic of a chariot into there and then put, this is how we'll be saved or delivered, along with the gunshots. So I just want you to understand, though, this relates directly to One West eschatology. This is what they believe about the end of the world. One more time.
Like the Egyptians were destroyed. They weren't saved. Shalom. Shalom, Officer DeWatt, IUIC Mobile, rapid fire. What are we really being saved from?
Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
I just thought that'd be a good first one. So now we're getting underway, and everyone can't see you. They're really sad about that, but I just told them they're going to deal with it.
Now, just before you get to that, when we deal with the violence, when you said they say they're not violent,
yeah,
but then they say this, could that be where they're saying we're not violent, but the violence will come from above?
Yeah, so actually, if we're going to be, so let's be charitable, Lewis. So I'm glad, so Lewis is actually understanding their mindset. Exactly. This is not, Black Panther or something where they're saying they're going to, I'm not saying the Black Panther said that, but I think some did. There's no overthrow of the government. There's no armed militia. It's not about that. If we were going to be charitable, we might say it in the way we would say it. We're not going to judge the wicked, right? That's not our job as Christians, but we wouldn't deny that God is. But there's sort of a relish in it, and theirs, of course, is racially based. That's something that I think is interesting, and they just talk about it with glee.